Yo, guys, welcome back on the Uncle Shama channel. It is that time again. It is two up top. It's time to shoot the you-know-what with us two, raw, unfiltered, and everything that's on the forefront of your brain we'll try to bring to the forefront of this conversation. But let's get it happening with my brother, the OG, Uncle Shama. How you doing, man?
I am good. Happy to be linking up for episode 3. I'm glad that we're just doing it regularly every few weeks, that we keep this going. And I think people are enjoying it. I've been receiving good feedback on this, I guess, podcast, we can call it. But yeah, I'm feeling good, brother. Things are looking a little bit better than I think last time we linked up for episode 2, where we were coming off the back of some negative results.
For sure. Thanks for doing it at a convenient time for me. I was talking to Mo today, and even he, like, I could hear the frustration in his voice. He was like, I don't know how, like, how's the clock and how we're trying to get around timing and stuff. And like, even for you and I, we've had times where timing looks good, and then daylight savings happens in either one of our countries or simultaneously. But I'm grateful to you because usually I'm up in the morning, but this time you're the one that sacrificed the AM time. So thank you to the zeal. Make sure everybody's giving a thumbs up to the video and subscribing to the Uncle Shama channel and into Worldwide, as well as we once again prioritize having these raw, unfiltered, authentic chats and getting as many topics and as much content crammed into that time as possible. So working basically from back to front. Before we get into the positive result that was Slavia, for every good batch of strawberries, there's always one bad one at the bottom, which is kind of like the one bad headline coming out of Slavia was something that, like, you prophesied loudest. A couple of people said, but your one got me. I was walking Vince, as I usually am, and you said it, and it stuck in my head as I got home. I'm like, Thuram is overworked. Thuram is overworked. Thuram is overworked. And it happened exactly like you said it would happen, and a couple of others said on Twitter it happened. But overall, some decent news, but I guess we will work backwards. What's your reaction to Thuram being injured? Without me giving away my opinion too much, I will say, without saying things like this, if it was going to happen at any time, I'm glad it happened right now with Cremonese and an international break ahead. But still, there is no such thing as a good time to have a priority player injured, Zeal.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you could see straight away he tried to play it off as a cramp after the game. But as soon as you see some strapping around the leg, as soon as you see the guy limping up, you don't limp after a cramp after the game's finished and you've cooled down. So there was definitely something going on. And yeah, like it's one of those things, like, it's not obviously, like, players are gonna get injured. They could get injured in training, they could get injured in the warm-up. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. But I feel like this could be like an early learning for Kivu. Because, as you were saying, like I was saying it, loads of people were saying it. It was fine to start Marcus Thuram, but I think you're 2-0 up at halftime against Slavia Praha. All due respect, of course, you want to keep the pressure on, make sure you get the 3 points and everything. But there was no need for Marcus Thuram to be on that pitch again after the 45th minute. I would have brought Boni in straight away. So to me, this is like, I feel like this could be a learning for Kivu to just really understand that he has to manage the energies and manage the minutes a bit better, because it's only the start of the season, match day 5 in Serie A, match day 2 in Champions League, but this guy's already played a lot of minutes for Inter and France. So yeah, that's my opinion. I do blame Kivu a little bit on this one. What do you say?
You can definitely tell he's worked hard from a physiological point of view, because when you watch these athletes left, right, and center, and when I watch them, I mean, like, you're fanatics like us. You watch the training videos on YouTube, you watch the photos that go on the website. I mean, maybe it's just me a little bit with my exercise science background, but like, I can tell when people are a couple of kilos overweight or cutting weight. And Thuram got to a point where he was nowhere near overweight, obviously, but you noticed he was unfit. He got fit really bloody quick in this off season that we had in between Club World Cup time and actually kickoff season time for Serie A. He got very fit very quickly. He looks very, very trim, very ripped. Like, he's very, very ripped. I've seen the guy without a shirt on, and it is impressive stuff, man. He cut weight very, very quickly. So yeah, it does not surprise me whatsoever that there's a correlation with, being overworked muscular wise. And you called it. I think it will be a learning curve for Kivu. like I said, there's no good time for this to happen, but Cremonese and a 14-day international break where he does not travel with France. Let's deal with it properly. Let's count our lucky stars that it's not something more serious. Let's learn from this, and let's cut our losses and say that, hey, a couple of things work in our favor here. A, next opponent coming up was most likely going to be a rotational opponent anyway, personnel. B, international break after that. He will not travel with France, which now, let's face it, when you really think about it, had he not been injured, Zio, if he travels and plays, he gets injured on international duty, most likely. We've got that luxury there. And third, dude, like everybody said in the chats on WhatsApp and Twitter, everyone had the same thing when he went down. Everyone was like, damn. Well, it ain't Korea and it ain't that's for damn sure. And we are more than happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we are not celebrating this in any way, shape, or form. Thuram is still, I'll say, our best attacker so far this season. Big ups to Toro. His last 2 performances, he's crawled his way right back up there. But for the most part, up until the last game and a half, Thuram was our best forward this season. So by no way, shape, or form are we glorifying him being hurt. That's awful. But this is something that we took care of well in the back season. We wanted changes to the starting 11. We didn't really get it, but we just as much, if not more, wanted changes to the depth. And in attack, we more as hell got that.
Yeah, just to give a visual to the minutes that the guys have already played. Bastoni, who has become, we used to make fun of Bastoni. Remember, Anto, about the flu-like symptoms that he would miss games with, or like just something random that he would miss like 1 or 2 games. Nothing serious, but he just missed like 1 or 2 games every like other month. And now he's turned into an absolute soldier. This guy, every game, whether even he's injured or not, he seems to play for Italy and Inter. So he's definitely changed something in his personal regime. You would know.
Bro, I love him so much. He's going to be the captain at some point. I can just see it, as long as he doesn't take a big transfer move in the next couple of years. But yeah, he's very good. There's always levels to what this guy is saying. But yeah, he just like, just like a good vaccine in the first year, he got it all out of his system, and now he's immune to it. No flu-like symptoms in 2 years. And yeah, big up Bastoni.
But yeah, you can see Thuram, the amount of minutes that he's played. Obviously, Denzel, Nico Barella. That's another one I wanted to ask you about. I feel like there was no need, absolutely, to bring Barella on the other day.
I get that. I do. Trust me. I do get it big time. But I think I watched your live stream a little late, actually, a good day after you put it up. Someone said, like, put yourself in Kivu's shoes. In this situation, like, well, when it's your money on the gambling table at the casino, nobody else's opinion matters. And Kivu at that point in time would have told himself, hell, man, I've played this game at top level. I know what can happen. I'm not even interested in letting a 3-0 turn into a 3-1, let alone some sort of comeback here. So I'm going to get the players that I thought I needed to play for 90 minutes today to play for 27 minutes today. And I, as president of Nico Barella Fanboy FC, know too well that playing Nico Barella for 27 minutes is like playing Nico Barella for 0 minutes. That guy can do 27 minutes standing on his pinky. But albeit, if this situation was, say, 3 months from now, 4 months from now, that needs to be a different substitution at that point. But now we're just nitpicking at little things that we really hope to happen. When it ain't broke, don't fix it. I can't, like I said on my channel, I'm not going to go at the mister until he makes a decision where I go, ooh, that was detrimental. Ooh, that resulted in something bad, because Christian Kivu was thrown into a pretty shitty situation here. And so far, he's done very well. Like, I was actually thinking about it before our show today, not to bring up this negative situation this season, but you take that last 12-minute comeback from those guys in that city out of this situation, and we're all looking at this season going, oh, shit. Senor Christian, what have you got cooking? What have you got going on? Literally, Zil, you switched that 12 minutes, that 4-3 for a 3-2, and we'd be sitting here going, we are extremely excited about this.
And that silly, stupid handball by Dumfries in the Udinese game.
Yes, the Udinese game, those sort of games are always going to be a write-off to me, but I can't tolerate leads against our main rivals and letting it slip. It's my biggest vex.
Yeah. No, definitely. That Juve one is just yeah. And speaking on Juve, I was hate watching the Juve Villarreal game last night. And that was a successful hate watch.
You have no idea what a hate watch is until you want to hear what my hate watch was this morning, my friend.
What was it?
So I wake up and it's 1-0 to Villarreal, and I go, oh, good, perfect, a great time to go and bet on Juve to win. If they win, good. I'll be like $200 to the good. They're ridiculous odds. So I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I do what we do in the morning. I put Vince outside, I go back, and it's 2-1 straight away. And at that point, I'm like, curse you, Anthony, for thinking you had 9 to 10 minutes in the bathroom. Yeah. Anthony 2 to 3 years ago would have never fallen for this trap, but you've given them the benefit of the doubt. You've given it one extra go. Now I'm emotionally invested in this game where I was not before in the day. Now it has the potential to ruin my day off at the fact that I thought they would lose and not before, and I can't profit from it. So when the Villarreal equalizer goes in, none other than Renato Vega, and he celebrates like it's his bro. He's treating this situation like it's the Madrid-Barcelona Luis Figo situation, and I was all for it, bro. I was up off my couch at that point.
Same. I had to take a screenshot of and post it because I was just I was dying. Let me just show the people if they're. And the funny thing is, Juve fans really loved this guy. They wanted to sign him. They were writing these fan fiction stories about, oh, he wants us so bad, and then
they never even went to Chelsea with an offer for this guy, bro. They shipped him back there, tea, biscuits, and all, cuz it's done. And now look at him, like our boy Tejan.
Oh yeah, like our boy Tejan. Apparently he's. I didn't watch the first 20-30 minutes. Apparently he was really bad in that, but yeah. Oh, Jonathan David.
I saw it.
Did you see his miss?
I saw his miss. I saw the miss.
Well, by the way, yeah, I don't think I forgot to ask you. Did you want to sign him? Because I was on the board that I feel like if it was not Oak Tree, Marotta would have signed him, and I think I would have not minded that signing.
I wouldn't have minded the signing. You know, I'm a very conspiratorial sort of guy, so I've always been a little bit sus at the fact that he's been sort of the most sought after free agent for 3 to 4 years. It's kind of like a football conspiracy. How is it?
Romano's tweets,
bro. This guy's been theoretically available for free since for about 3 years now, and it has to be something to do with the fact that him and his entourage just dead set refused to re-sign with Lille for a prolonged period of time, which was the first red flag. And then you've got his agent constantly fending off any sort of subtle approach from other clubs, to the point where we never actually had an official bid from any English club, not Barcelona, not Madrid, not Paris. How the hell is there no official bid from Paris for the most sought after striker in the league that comes from a French team? That's not normal. That doesn't happen. No Bayern Munich bid ever. Something very, very sus behind the scenes here. His entourage is a pain in the ass. He is a pain in the ass. This whole situation just reeks of pain in the ass. Now he's Juve's pain in the ass to deal with Vlahovic's pain in the ass. And I find that hysterical, to be honest, because he's not all that. Jonathan David's not all that. He wasn't worth all the heartache. He wasn't worth all the trouble. However, any striker in a big situation could still miss a sitter like that. It happens to a lot of them. I just think the timing's fantastic, because that club to me is years back from repair still. And you're seeing it. You're seeing how many holes that they've got. Be real with you, bro. 10 out of those 11 players on their pitch today should not be anywhere near a Juventus shirt. I'm talking 10 out of 11. Not 6, not 7, 10.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what gives me hope in Serie A still. That's what I always say, regardless of what, like I said at the beginning, I know some people like Mattia was saying expectations are just really low, but I can't let the expectations fall low, because I can see the other teams. I can see what they're working with.
I hear you.
I know our coaches are rookie,
as pessimistic as I am, I always walk away thinking, how the can I not think that we can't challenge for this league? You can't look at this Milan, Napoli, and Juve and go, oh, we're scared. No one should be scared of anybody. Nobody should be scared of anybody. Everybody needs to pick up their balls and go for it. Question to you, because we haven't discussed this yet. I haven't thought of it as realistic, but if Beppe was cooking something for Vlahovic in January or the off season, would you be okay with it?
I used to be a very big fan of Vlahovic, early days of Fiorentina, and then I remained a fan, like the early first season or so for Juve, but slowly I've just like, he's not even young anymore. I think he's what, 25, 26 now. He's getting, so he's, he should be getting in towards his peak. I just don't see any improvement in him. And if it was like one of those cheap deals, like a cheap or like lower wages type of thing, then I would be all yeah. I'm always willing to like give players another chance and let them, have another go somewhere else. Fresh air, as they say, fresh air always helps a player. But if he's asking for like these wages that apparently he even asked Milan for like 7-8 million net, like then just I wouldn't touch him. No, I wouldn't touch him.
You can't just bring him in and make him the second or third top earner at the club with players like Bastoni, Barella, who have been around for time, players like Hakan as well. You can't do that. He'd be the second highest earner under Lautaro in the blink of an eye, and you can't just do that. It would completely mess up the wage structure. So I agree, unless he was he'd have to be pretty vindictive. He'd have to be on board with Marotta going up to him and going, hey, do you like genuinely hate them? Like, are you pissed off? Because if you're pissed off, come here and we'll make it happen. You just got to save some money. But if you're not, I'm sure you'll find a location elsewhere. Yalla, bye. But yeah, if he was vindictive enough. But, Inter's got, I don't want Inter to get into that habit of continuing to hire deceitful snake-like human beings and being like that simpy guy that was like, oh, she won't do it to me, she won't lie to me. Bullshit. Like, I know you've seen it. Benji Pavard was a C word before he came here. He'll be a C word when he leaves. Same with Hakan, bro. Like these people do not change their stripes. Let's hope that they don't burn us as much as they burn their predecessor.
Perisic, before he left Wolfsburg, I remember like, he's made out to be a model professional now, which he is. But all players go through it in the earlier part of their career. That guy put in a transfer request to move to Inter. I remember Edin Dzeko was ready to ship to come to Inter for that. I remember that Alexis Sanchez swap that was supposed to happen like in a random January. Like he was ready to just leave Roma midway through the season and force that move. Players with like, even with model professionals, when there's something that's better for their career or they're just feeling vindictive, they will do anything.
100%. People don't realize that when people like you and I get a better opportunity, even though we think it's as tough as writing up a letter on Microsoft Word and going, all right, here's your 2 weeks notice. Don't look at me wrong. But for these people, it's like, oh, damn, 60 million people in the world are going to find out about this and half of them are going to be pissed off. What am I supposed to do?
No, they have some thick skin. I give that to them, but they also have some deep wallets to drown their sorrows in. But just finishing up on the Marcus Thuram news, bro. So Pio has been used a lot more than maybe he was expecting to, but we've got 4 strikers. So I feel like even last year we saw Taremi, even Correa, Arnautovic, they all got plenty of minutes. So this is not a surprise. I have been surprised more about the lack of minutes for Boni, actually, who has only had 97 minutes combined at the moment. But obviously now with Thuram's injury, he's going to be thrusted into the limelight. What do you make of Boni till now? I think we've all been super impressed with Esposito. What's your thoughts on Boni at the moment? Are you convinced? Are you feeling like, we could have signed someone else, or we needed one more guy up front as well?
I think in the scheme of things, Boni has gotten the exact minutes that Boni, the signing, and the player should have expected to get, which is why I'm not surprised at all. He was brought in to be a vice forward, a vice Thuram, and that's the minutes that he's played. And like you said, now is it. We're going to see it. We're going to see him against Cremonese, I have no doubt, from the start. And following on, he'll have an option. And if he proves himself in that game, well, it'll be up to Kivu after that. But I feel like we've brought him in for the right reasons. I feel like Kivu has proven that he is willing to rotate the players that he trusts. He clearly does trust him to play minutes. Otherwise, he wouldn't be putting him on at all, a la Andy Duif. But we might do that later on in the show because I'm not prepared to write that off yet. It's a big industry with a lot going on. Like everyone just needs to calm the F down just a little bit. I'd be way more worried about Fratesi than Duif at the moment, to be honest. But we might get to that later as well. Overall, Boni's going to get his chance when he does get his first real goal, because he scored against Torino, did he not, in a rout?
Yeah, he scored, I think, the 5-0, 4-0 goal.
Doesn't count. Okay, he scored the 4th or the 5th one, yeah?
Yeah.
doesn't count. So when he gets his first real goal, I know I sound stupid, but when he gets his first
No, but
real goal,
I get it. I feel
that
you
counts for
until he
something,
gets
and
scored
everyone's
like
like,
a.
all right, this guy contributed to context. This guy contributed to moments. We're gonna remember him now this season. That'll be his crowning moment. Just like for Esposito, because getting the second goal. We're Inter fans, man. Like, screw your 1-goal lead. I'll never be okay with a 1-goal lead. The game could be over, and I'm still going to bed waking up with nightmares in a 1-goal lead. So when Esposito scores the second goal in a game, that's his moment to be contextually applied into all moments of the season. And I can't wait for Bonnie to get his moment. It might be against Cremonese, bro.
Yeah, I would like to see it. Yeah, because I think we've talked about it when we signed him. I think he is the Marcus Thuram alter ego. Like, he is literally a mini Marcus Thuram. So in terms of characteristics, what he can do for us, that is the guy to bring in with Thuram isn't there.
Yep.
But yeah, looking forward to seeing it. I think, yeah, if you can't do it against Cremonese, then there's already some early red flags. Obviously, not calling him a flop already. He's 21 years old. We got to give him time. But, early, things that we got to be like, come on, mate. This is Inter. You gotta get your ideas together. But no, I'm looking forward to it for sure. What about Luis Enrique? Some people are asking in the chat about him. What's your honest opinion on Luis Enrique when you saw him against Cagliari?
I mean, whenever he's played this season, he's been good. He's been good for what we brought him in for. I don't get why a couple of fans have said that, like, oh, they're not too impressed with his cameos or performances. I find him to be very progressive. I find him to be very confident. People need to remember that when Denzel Dumfries arrived here, that guy was like on a temporarily permanent crucifix in the train in the grounds, and everyone, like, spearheaded by fans like myself. I'm not gonna lie, Denzel Dumfries was left hang out to dry. Now, he's the sort of player that you would not be comfortable at all if we sold him for twice as much as his market value. Luis Enrique so far, I think, has had some good performances. Again, very, very confident. It wasn't the game against Cagliari. I think it was against Sassuolo, actually. He played against Sassuolo, right?
He came on as a sub. Yeah, he had a good cameo against Sassuolo, yeah.
The cameo against Sassuolo was very impressive. Cagliari, it was a little bit more reserved because he was made to start the game. So, like I always say in Serie A, like, the first 45 minutes in Serie A are such a write-off in terms of ball-in-play football. It's very hard to gauge a player having an actual good performance in the first 45 minutes in Serie A, which is a big reason why Dusan Vlahovic is always going to look like 3 times the player coming off the bench that he is starting a game for Juve. But Enrique is not giving me Dalbert vibes, like some of the fans are trying to say. But at the same time, he's not going to give me Ashraf Hakimi vibes. Nobody is. What are your thoughts about him?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I wasn't too big of a. I didn't really understand why we pushed through the signing so quick. Like, it was done just like, was it like end of May?
We had other positions. We had other positions that needed much more delicate attending to before dropping that.
Well, no, I feel like, I think it needed attending to, because we kept saying, like, we can't having Darmian still rolling out as a right wing back. I think it didn't addressing, but it was like, if the coach situation wasn't sorted, it seemed like he was maybe an Inzaghi green light guy, like someone that Inzaghi maybe gave a green light to. I don't know. We only find out these things afterwards, like Lazzaro. Like, apparently Lazzaro was like, Conte didn't have nothing to do with that. So why did you even sign him at that time?
Right.
So Buchanan as well. Buchanan, clearly Inzaghi had probably no clue on who the hell this Canadian guy is, and you just gave this guy to him and thought he could turn something out of him. But clearly, yeah, I feel like you need some sort of manager buy-in these days. Otherwise, your signing just goes down the drain. But no, I like him in terms of characteristics. Like you said, like, he's progressive, he's quick. He feels like he's still quite shy at the moment. Like, he's not really letting himself go, like showing his, exuberant side of dribbling past people and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't see the Dalbert vibes yet. It was just did you see that throw in that he messed up? Yeah. In that sense, I do see it. Like, he looks a little bit like, he looks a bit nervous to be at Inter at the moment.
Yeah, really bad time to have a low IQ moment, but that's why I'm trying to write it off.
Yeah. We'll just ignore that. We'll walk straight past that. Oh, a player that I wanted to talk about that I know you've been big on since we signed him, and he's basically played almost every minute since he signed for us. Manuel Akanji. Upgrade on Benji Pavard, yes or no?
Oh, what a staunch, bro. Bad man. Look at this guy's eyes, bro. What do you really want? You want some wee Messi, Frenchie, this and that with his pink sweater walking around this locker room? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, cuz. That's what I'm talking about, cuz. Get in, bro. The guy's just mean mug. He's a mean mug, and I'm all for it, man. Until he has a bad performance-wise, until he has a bad performance, I won't be too scrutinary. I know he didn't have the best game in terms of managing sensitive issues in the Derby d'Italia, but come on, man. Like, that's a very high intensity game to be thrust into your first time in the country. But now, high impact player because he has had a high impact in other high level matches before. I know his injury record was not favorable. I, for one, would like to have seen him rotated a lot more than he was now. He played a lot more minutes than I expected him to. I know that when a player like that, and that just reaffirms that, like, things that fans like me are saying, like Christian Kivu probably saw him come in on deadline day thinking, holy shit, even I for a second didn't think I was getting everybody. And now you got me that. Now you got me that, because that's what it feels like to me now. We spent that entire goddamn market stressing about the centre-back situation that we all gave up. We were done. By deadline day, I couldn't even get happy for Akanji when we announced him on deadline day, because the soul had been sucked from me way before deadline day. So, and then he signed, and I thought, oh, I like him. Let's hope it works out. And it has worked out very well so far. He's a really good center back, just fingers, toes, everything else crossed. He stays fit. So Kivu, please go and put your arm around Bisek and go, everything is going to be okay. Let's do some damage together, because we need Jan Bisek to be confident. I said it in my post-match reaction of the game against Slavia Praha. Sorry, not Slavia Praha. When was the last time Bisek played?
It was Slavia Praha.
Yeah, Slavia Praha. Yeah, that's exactly right. He didn't smile a quarter as much as he smiled in the last year. That guy had a look. He had the first nervous look in his eye that I've ever seen him when he started a match. He took that pitch and just went, I don't know if I'm meant to be here right now. And I hate that. I hate that in a young, confident human being. I hate that in a young, confident athlete. He deserves to be confident because he's damn good. He's really good. He's good enough to be at this club. He needs to believe he's good enough, and he just needs to be focused enough to believe he's good enough, because that's the only way he is going to be good enough, man. I didn't like seeing the lack of confidence in the kid's face even before I watched his performance. To his credit, he didn't play poorly. He didn't stand out. He didn't do anything impressive. He had a pretty needless yellow card. But if I just take the yellow card out of the situation, he didn't have a bad game.
Yeah, I think he's just we know it, Anthony. Like, where every year we have a scapegoat player. Like, I feel like he's become one of those since the end of last season, which I can see why. In terms of visually, when you think about bad moments from last season, there's a few Bisek Bozo moments that come up, but it's it is what it is. I don't really focus too much on him. So on Akanji, actually, I was surprised yesterday or the day before, something came out that actually shows that his salary is actually a lot lower than we thought, because we thought he was coming in straight from his Man City salary, which was 5.5 net, but actually turns out he's only on 3.5 net, which is lower than Benji Pavard.
Yeah, he's on a receding contract, isn't he? Like, in a sense, like his contract lowers if he stays at the same club. I know a couple of big clubs have this in the works, and a lot of their fans don't know about it, like Madrid, City, and stuff. Almost like an unofficial, undisclosed privilege in the background. Like, if you stay on in age, you might have to take a pay cut.
No, it's increasing every year. Inter.
It's increasing.
Yeah, slightly.
Man, I've known about players taking pay cuts to stay at clubs, but I didn't realize that his pay was increasing into that age.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm thinking that maybe this is separate from his Man City thing. So they must have negotiated. So this is why they're saying that Inter are already gonna trigger the release clause or whatever, the agreement to take him on a permanent. So they must have agreed a separate contract. So it's not his Man City contract. It must be something separate. What's the source for this besides Calcio Finanza, or is that the only source? Yeah, that's the only source at the moment. So we'll wait to see.
They're saying that there's evidence of a 2026-27 contract for an increase on the current contract, which is evidence that Inter has already agreed a deal for 2026-27, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fair player, hopefully. Like, it was 15 million, the release clause, right?
Yeah, that was the buyout. Yeah.
That's theft in this market.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Inter released their financials the other day, so I think they might have got these figures from there because they released a few figures from like other guys as well, like Sucic as well, who's basically this is gonna double, triple in the space of a year very soon. 1.5 million net every season for 5 years.
What is that? How much we've agreed to up his salary?
No, it's just his salary is not increasing. He's saying a 1.5 million net for the next
Yeah,
4 years,
yeah.
which is definitely not happening.
Nah. I'm so impressed with his performances, but
Yeah. No, he's been a very, very good signing, man.
very
Let's
good,
move
bro.
on to another topic completely away from the squad now, Anthony. The topic that
Mm.
I never talk about on the channel. People ask me to make videos on it, and I just say no.
Mhm.
Because I'm not. It's not that I'm not interested. I just don't have the energy and the I've lost all hope on it really. But it looks like Inter have finally, and Milan, I guess we have to include them in it because they're involved. Inter and Milan have finally made some progress, 1% progress into this whole stadium news, and will be again. They haven't actually put the money down yet. They've just agreed that they can buy the area, the stadium of the Meazza. Where are you on it? Because I'm still completely unmoved by this. Where does Anthony Privatera stand on all this?
Anthony Privatera stands in Southwest Sydney, which is why I, like you, don't really give too much of a rat's ass about it. Because that's why I don't do content on it either. I think people are more looking towards you than I, because you give these awesome, elegant compilations, scout reports. You deliver us the news that we need to hear. But for me personally, I just look at one date and one date only. When are they going to knock down the current San Siro so I can get there for a flight to watch a game before it does? Because I can't let that OG stadium go down before I go there. It wouldn't be right, would it? Imagine I don't get to see an Inter game at that stadium. That just
We'd
wouldn't be
have to
right.
take the channel off you. We'll have to
Yeah,
you have to give it up because you're not allowed to run it.
100%, and rightfully so. I did. It's very Italian news, the fact that they don't expect the new place to be built up until a certain date, and in order to double down on all of that, they're not going to knock down the current stadium. It'll be built basically next to it, and
Yeah.
then
So because
yeah,
they're hosting the Olympics or something there, or like they've got some events going. So yeah, it won't be. You've got time still,
I
Anthony.
got
So
plenty
don't
of
worry about
time. I got
that.
plenty of time because that trip's going to happen in the next couple of years, so that'll be plenty of time for that. But look, I guess if we can negotiate some sort of terms and conditions where that we can profit from it before the actual stadium is erected. I'm not too sure if things can happen logistics wise behind the scenes where we start to profit more from ticket prices, and all that. This is Italian bureaucracy we're talking about, and I don't know it from a bar of soap. I'm sure other people can talk about it better than me. I just also, like you, Zil, don't have many high hopes until something actually does happen.
Yeah.
As of right now, we will continue to profit as minimally as possible while we kick back all the profits to the city of Milano. And until we can actually see, us reaping all the benefits of our stadium, the same way who does from the Allianz Arena. It's as you said, it's a 1%. It's almost like the fat cats upstairs have said in Parliament, and literally you can see them saying in Parliament, "All right, we agree, done 1.2. All right, we agree." We knew we
The
were
most,
gonna.
did you
If
see
there
that
wasn't,
they
if you
agreed? Did you see that they had to do it on the deadline day? So they had a deadline there was the other day. They stayed up until midnight. I think the meeting finished at 3 a.m. It's like a student at university cramming in at the last minute
yeah,
like, before the exam.
or Barcelona getting a deadline day deal in an alleyway done, like
Yeah.
stuff like that, bro. So yeah, I agree with you. Like it doesn't impact me in any way, shape, or form. So
Yeah.
I've always wanted this for our club. I know this is where financial freedom sort of comes from, but I've been geared to believe that this is still very much a far reach.
Yeah. Well, in your ideal mind, obviously, you would have wanted this to be on our own, right? Not with Milan involved.
We can't afford that. We're not even remotely close. They can't, because if they could, they would. Trust me. If we could, we would. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's all well and good to point our fingers at ourselves, but trust me, they're not that better than us. And I know they like to sit on their high horse, like that they don't suffer as much as us. But to that, I would say, if you could, you would have, but you haven't. So that's it.
The only thing I hope for is that they don't design it to be like just like every single stadium has been recently, like these kind of, people call it like a toilet bowl design, like just this, just basic round design. Like I hope they give some, because now I think they have to redesign that. It's not going to be the cathedral. Remember the design a few years back that was agreed to be built, the cathedral design. That one was pretty cool.
It was.
I hope it's just not something boring.
Didn't one of the people in Parliament say that the pillars are tacky or they don't like the pillars or something? And now everyone's like, "Oh, here we bloody go! Here we go!"
Oh yeah, Tancredi Palmieri was going on a rant yesterday on Twitter, like,
bro, he's gone off lately. That guy is unhinged.
Yeah, that guy went off a long time ago, I think. But yeah, that's my only hope. I don't know if you have any aesthetic wishes for this stadium. If you like any particular stadium designs around the world.
Nah, I don't have much of an opinion in terms of stadiums, how they look. I don't care about what things look like on the outside. What matters to me is the fabric within.
True. Yeah, you see the Villarreal stadium, they showed like a picture of it from the outside yesterday. It's like bright yellow. Yeah. As long as they don't do that, I'm all right.
Exactly. I've always hated their colors, but I like their fans. They've always had a cool club with cool fans.
Yeah, no, it makes sense for them. The whole yellow submarine thing. It's cool. Should be like Air Albania. What does Air Albania look like? I need to search that up now.
While you do that, let's get towards like some on-pitch stuff. Slavia 3-0. Like we were.
No, that would be like that would be the Milan Stadium, Air Albania. Oh wait. Oh, this one he means Air Albania Stadium. Okay.
You know what? Aesthetically, that does look pretty cool.
That looks like office building.
Where is that in Albania?
Don't even know.
One of those stadiums in a country that fills 15% of its capacity at all events.
Oh, in Tirana. Yeah. Says, I guess this their like marquee stadium. It's nice, but yeah, it looks like office building to me. Sorry, you're about to move on to a different topic.
Yeah. Just because we're having too much fun and I don't want to be left here wanting to talk about a couple of important things. Slavia 3-0. You did your reaction. I did mine. I'm going to make an educated guess and say everyone watching this show has seen both. So rather than talk about Slavia, let's talk about our position. 6 out of 6, 6 mandatory points out of 6. We've still got 6 mandatory points out of 6 to go. But if we can get to that end of match day 4, my guy, with 12 out of 12 points, that's awesome, because more than ever, after living through this first version of this Champions League last season, we saw more than ever, you can't fucking get to January or December, January, and still need points. You do not want to be suffering for points in the back end of this campaign. If you're getting to match day 6 and you're like, oh, we need to win, match day 7, oh, we need to win, screw that. Mattia kept saying it on Inter Worldwide in the chat a few days ago. The Scudetto and the Serie A calendar needs to be the main priority. And I said, yes, 100%. And the first way that you can make sure that you can prioritize that is to get these bums out of the way. Get these, like we were dealt, looking at it now, we could not have hoped for a better opening phase draw of this competition. The toughest opponent was Ajax away in Amsterdam. Weak Ajax side, but we did away with them. Union from Belgium, they're having a great season. They're tearing up the Belgium league. I was watching them a little bit closely in the extended highlights today, and I spoke to my friend who's a diehard Newcastle fan, watches every minute. He said they were rubbish. And which is, I told him, I'm like, bro, they're meant to be good. I expected them to be good. All signs pointed to good. I expect suffering next time. He goes, look, you'll beat them. You should beat them comfortably. I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. So let's get our 12 out of 12 points. Let's move on to the tough fixtures. We've got Atletico. Julian Alvarez.
Oh, when did Karabag sneak up here?
Bruv, 6 out of 6 points. Carry a bag.
I did not notice that. See, this is what happens sometimes. Yeah, you can't underestimate any game in the Champions League.
Nah, bro. Atletico, like Alvarez is in amazing form. Even Giacomo Raspadori is firing. They're starting to gain form. Liverpool, Arsenal, Dortmund. It's a horrible final 4 games. The stuff of absolute hell. You only want to be going into those games expecting a few points.
Where are those games packed in, like in our fixture list? That's always a key. Oh, bloody hell, the Atletico game is straight after the Milan derby.
I'll be back in 20 seconds. I'll be back in 20 seconds, man.
All right. Yeah, let me see where. Oh, the Liverpool game is a little bit better, packed in straight after Como at home, and then Genoa away. So that's not the end of the world, that one. And then let me see. The Arsenal game is between Udinese and Pisa again. So that's not too bad. Oh yeah, this is really good actually. Yeah, Dortmund is packed in between Pisa and Cremonese. So actually, apart from the Atletico one that's straight after the derby, the other ones are not too bad in terms of fixture list, fixture timing, because usually that can really affect you. Yeah, no, I'm actually pretty happy with that. Let me see. Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah,
we've got some tough games coming up, but the fixture, did you say the spacing between it? Like we can work with it.
Yeah. So you see, like the Arsenal one is after Udinese and between Pisa, and Dortmund the same, Pisa and Cremonese. So it's only the Atletico one that's straight after the Milan derby. So that's the only
correct. So yeah, we'll see. Plenty of football to come, man. Plenty of football to come. But next one up is Cremonese, bro. Jamie Vardy. See, he hasn't played much. The manager said they didn't want to risk anything unnecessary. Maybe that's the fancy way of saying man's on the Red Bulls, in it. Bit too much. He's enjoying that Italian discoteca. So we'll see what happens with Jamie Vardy.
Well, respect to him for coming to Italy. I thought he was going to go off to like Saudi or something, but he actually chose to fight for relegation. So fair play to him.
He's always looked like a guy that just sort of does what's true to his heart. So he probably bailed up McTominay and a couple other people in De Bruyne and said, what's the go here? And they're like, man, it's pretty nice over here. If you don't mind getting paid a little bit less, you just get to do whatever you want here in a really nice country. It's beautiful. You don't get told what to do, because best believe these players that travel to Saudi, they're on other people's schedules, time and day.
And saying that he's going to fight for relegation at the moment, they're not. They've had a cracking start to the season, unbeaten.
You know, the manager knows what relegation's like. Manager knows what Serie A B's like. Manager might be looking at this situation and going, "Hey, this might be my first claim to fame." Because this would be his, if Nicola finishes mid-table with Cremonese, surely that has to be his best dot point on his resume. I know we're digging a little bit deeper here. Like, what would be his? Yeah, that would be his biggest.
I think he can never outdo that miracle relegation survival that he did with Salernitana. That was
big. That was big. Yes,
because it was
they needed to come back by like 13 points at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, they were dead and gone. They were like one of those teams where you're like, yeah, it's done. Like next, who's coming up next, and then somehow they've survived. But yeah, in terms of actual achievement in his career, getting this Cremonese, if he gets them safely in mid-table, that would be a massive achievement. Maybe, hopefully, gets him a bigger job.
Well, they had who did they draw to on the weekend? They weren't expected to draw Como, right?
I think they drew to Como. Yeah, 1-1 to Como.
Bashirotto scored the goal. I remember now. Yeah. No, like I mean, you look at their team on paper; they're not supposed to stay in Serie A this season. They're not supposed to.
Your boy Sanabria as well.
That was the biggest surprise for me. Like, he was a player that when he was sort of flirting with peaking at Torino, I don't know if you saw, I would give little sneaky big ups to him for a while. Like, bring this guy onto my bench. He belongs on my bench, coming off the bench. He's perfect. He's perfect for it. He's just a better version of Eder, to be honest. But yeah, Federico Bonazzoli, I don't expect would do the job for Cremonese this season to save their ass. But, you know, it's at this point of the season now, leading up to the new year in January, where relegation teams need to play for every game. Relegation teams like Cremonese need to play for 38 rounds like it's the game of their life, because these points end up like scraps and crumbs of bread at the end of the season to them, and they need them big time.
Yeah. They made some interesting signings over the summer. There's obviously Vardy, Sarmiento from Brighton on loan, Sanabria, your boy, as we said, Silvestri, the goalkeeper, Bondo, Terracciano. But Basquiroto, this one, like, it was surprising to me that Lecce let him go for so cheap. Like, he was their main guy.
To
Like,
a
I feel like
direct
that
rival.
could cost them relegation, just that decision on its own.
To a direct rival. If you're going to have conversations at top level about clubs selling players to other clubs and going, oh, why would you feed a direct rival? It's exactly the same shit. Take notice of it. Just because it's the other end of the table doesn't mean it counts for nothing.
Exactly. Scudetto winner Aldero. Let's put some respect.
Yeah, Campione d'Italia, il numero 20. There he is right there.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, we're at home. I know, yeah, of course they beat Milan and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, the way that we're playing now, the way that Di Marco's picking up form, Hakan's picking up form, everyone's starting to pick up form without Thuram, obviously. I think we still should be winning this game.
For sure, bro. It's one of those things where I'm not going to predict on my channel that we pump them, but we need to win this 4-0, 4-1, 3-0, 2-0. Just make it comfortable, make it easy. They're not a bad team, but everybody fix your attention to that on screen. Like, come on, man. Seriously, take Thuram out of that lineup, put Bonnie in. It still should win 4-0. Take Dumfries out of that lineup, put Darmian in. It still should win 3-0. Take Zoma out, put Martinez in, put Augusto in, put anybody you know on our squad list into our lineup. It needs to win that game by 2 or 3 goals. 3 points against Cremonese. It's an absolute must.
Yeah. To finish up, Anthony, I want to finish up on one player that we both openly, heavily criticized this summer. When I said I'm waiting, I think one more game and I'm apologizing to Hakan. When is the Anthony apology to Hakan coming?
You're too nice, bro. You don't need to apologize. You're not that mean of a person.
No, you know
Why
what
are
I
you
mean by
apologizing? Bro, my apology needs to be louder than your breathing in this category right here. You know, one thing we forgot in this stream, we forgot to do the little donation to embarrass me. You didn't do that. Yeah. So unfortunately, you missed your turn. So now I'll have the first one, like a penalty shootout in the next one. But yeah, like I've already been like writing my apology in my head like it's a wedding speech, bro. I'm like, shit, you need to make this one loud, Anthony, if he keeps going like this. Because he is playing well. I made sure to watch his performance properly in the last game. And I always say, bro, like the reflection of how good a player is how rarely he gets dropped by a manager, because there are players with an immense amount of talent that fans love that don't play football, you know. And then there's like players that just, and then there's players like, well, if every category, you know, Anthony Martial at Man United under Jose Mourinho, you know, that's one of the best icy cold quotes of all time. When he started to go, you're like, you'll remember these players, you know, where they play, if they play, and every single one of those players is a bum. Their career is over. This guy just borderline prophesized their downfall while he was the caretaker of their contract. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild. What were we talking about? Now I'm just fixated on Mourinho. He has that effect.
I mean, yeah. So Hakan, Udinese game week 1, he was shit. He didn't look good, and we were like, yeah, we should have sold this guy in the summer. Then he goes to Turkey national break. I didn't watch the Georgia game, but then I saw him getting absolutely sent for a kebab by Pedri.
Sent for 6, bro.
And the red flags of like all over the place. Like, wow, this guy actually looks concerningly finished already at age 31. But then Juve game, he scores 2 massive goals, but it's like, it's not the goal scoring that we need from him. It's the other side of things. So we're like, thank you, but sort yourself out defensively. And then since Ajax, Sassuolo, Cagliari, Slavia Prague, that's 4 games in a row that I feel like I have nothing to complain about with Hakan. He looks back to the Scudetto level Hakan that we saw.
Yeah, he's looking very good, man. He's still, at the end of the day, when you break down our positions, position for position, He's one of, if not the most fundamental player in the lineup. When you look at our team and go, okay, who, when you pull out of the lineup, is a massive detriment to the point where you need to reset the whole son of a bitch from square one. And the only player that even comes close to Hakan in that regard is Bastoni. But we've even seen that a player like Augusto can still step in and do something to an extent there. Hakan really is that only player in our squad, in our team, where you go, all right, pull out Hakan, we are right back to square -1. And that is all that needs to be said right there. And even me, as a guy that really looks at personality, really looks at person, really looks at all the things underneath the skin, I'm not going to sit here and ignore the most important part, which is that he is a fundamental, extremely important, very good player in our starting 11. And we cannot ignore that even slightly.
Dabika says Pessimism FC needs to suck it up.
You pipe down and tell Ian that we will rise again. Pessimism FC will continue to rise with anyone who acts like a snake. But yeah, Hakan's just he's been balling out too hard lately for me to say anything. And I'm glad I got to touch on it a little bit here, because I'm like you, I'm one game away from writing my apology. Ian will get together, we'll write our apologies together.
Yeah, Ian's will be like, sorry, but you're a snake. Yeah, no, I mean, we know that obviously. Even I wouldn't be surprised even if January there would be rumors again flaring up about Turkish clubs, and then summer again. But I feel like both parties are just forced into this for now. So just make it work and just make the best out of it. So I just hope he continues like this, Hakan. But Kivu, similar to the Thuram thing, he does need to manage him now. Like he needs to find a solution for when Hakan isn't there. Like, we still don't know who our vice Hakan is, which is like, it's a deja vu every season.
100%. 100%. We need to figure that out. Like, Aslan is going to be back here in 7.5 months, right? 8 months. So we need to avoid that situation as quick as we can.
Especially if Torino get relegated, he's coming straight back.
They look wank this season, man. They look really bad.
They've scored 2 goals all season. And Baroni's supposed to be an attacking coach, so they've got some problems.
I'm doing Zona Culture on Inter Worldwide about 40 minutes after we conclude this show, and I really should have included Torino in the shit section of the show. I've put Fiorentina in Genoa in this week.
Yeah, definitely include Torino in that, because they're already talking about Baroni. So Baroni could be on the firing line if he doesn't win the next game. Already match day 6. So.
There's a few managers that need to watch their back, cuz, in this league, because they have been really, really bad so far.
Yeah, obviously Di Francesco as usual. He's always in the firing line. I mean, Pioli is in big trouble already. Big trouble.
Time, bro. I'm covering Fiorentina big time on this next show. Pioli is, oh, bro, it's bad. It's bad for Padre Pioli at the moment, cuz, like, how are you not getting a win in your first 5 games as Fiorentina manager? I said at the start of the season, bro, that squad is really, really shit, but you have to be doing better than that.
Yeah, I said as well, like, people were excited about the transfer window, but I was like, none of their players really moved the needle. Like, spending 30 million for Piccoli, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, when you've just
30 mil, did they spend 30 mil on Piccoli?
Yeah.
That's garbage, bro.
This is what I was saying to people that moaned about, like, the Esposito transfer fee. I was like, if Piccoli goes for 30 million, like, what the hell? What is going on here? Yeah. And Palladino as well. He's making Palladino's work look a lot, but you know, it's funny how it looks better on, like, not when you're there, but when you're gone, you feel like, oh, now you can appreciate Palladino, because Fiorentina fans did not like Palladino for some reason.
When you upgrade your manager, it has to be for a clear and utter upgrade, to the point where even the fans are like, yeah, all right, we see what's going on here. But there was none of that, bro. Like, that was just a straight sideways move for no reason whatsoever, getting Pioli in for Palladino there. I don't know why they did that.
I think he's earning quite a bit, because he obviously was on massive wages in Saudi. So he's come back, obviously not on the same wages, but I think for Fiorentina level, that's massive. And I think they're actually not going to be able to sack him because of that, because they're going to have to pay him off.
I think so, bro. I think you're onto something there, man.
Oh, yeah, and Patrick Vieira, who's he did really well last year, and then they've had a very stinky start to this season.
He is my other topic on Zona Culture tonight. Why is Patrick Vieira not collecting points in Serie A?
Well, there you go. You got a preview of Zona Calcio that will be with Anthony on Inter Worldwide in what did you say, 40 minutes?
Yeah, about 40 minutes time, half an hour, 40 minutes time if we're wrapping up now.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. I just
all right, cool. I wanted to ask you one question before we wrap up tonight, though.
Yeah.
When we get to January, like it's a broad question. I don't want you to dig too deep into it. If looking at Kievil so far, if there was one thing that you think this team needed in January, picture money as no object, but realistic. Don't come out of nowhere and go say, oh, we want this 40 million signing. If picture one thing that you could change, one tweak in January, one thing that that you're looking at our team under Kievil right now and going, things are good, but that right there, I would address that. Is there anything that comes to mind straight away for you?
Yeah, Vice Hakan.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I was going to ask you that question. As we were talking about it, I thought to myself, okay, this is pretty much building to that.
But we've got so many midfielders. That's the issue. Like, we've got really 7 midfielders. So, that's not going to happen probably. But that would be the first place to look. And then, the option for changing the formation up front, as in not Lukman, but could be Lukman again, but the Lukman of the situation, or the Zalewski of the situation, which I still don't understand why we sold Zalewski, but anyway.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another time. We'll see how we go this season.
What about you, if you had money to spend in January?
If we had a little bit of money to spend in January, I mean, the Vice Hakan situation is very, very good. But for me personally, I would still be looking at addressing the central centre back situation, man, because the what if question is, is De Vrij good enough to take a Cherby spot? Is only going to be solid until his next big game falter, and everyone's going to be looking at each other going, this is really bad now, man. We cannot get away from this. So the central centre back thing is still a very, very big thing to me. But that being said, we did cover the fact that Akanji might be becoming permanent. But I will say that if that does happen, we will ship Benji Pavard out. So we are still technically one massive centralized center back short. Not pure central center back, but someone that can still fill, you know what I mean? Like you can't get Akanji in and Pavard out and still think that the center back situation is still okay, because that would be acclimatizing to the fact that the situation is okay the way it is now. And it's still not okay the way it is now. It is surviving the way it is now because that Akanji lifeline seems to be the best thing that we did not know was going to happen.
Yeah. No, 100%. But I think that we'll address that in the summer, as we should. Take our time, find the right player, hopefully, finally.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in once again for this episode 3 of 2 Up Top. Hope you guys are enjoying these. I'm enjoying making these with Anthony, making this a regular link up, which is something that we struggled to do over the years, but we're making it happen this year. So hope you guys are enjoying. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to Inter Worldwide. Any parting comments, Antonio?
Nah, just try and keep the spirits high. I'm doing it, so everybody else needs to do it as well, because let's face it, like, I'll leave you guys with this comment. We went through a really, really tough emotional time last season where it's very easy to take, take context out of what it is. And like I said today to somebody else, you take the manner in which we lost the final out of our situation. You take the manner that we lost it and the scoreline out of it. No one would be looking at the Kievil situation with what we're going that this is a disaster. People would be looking at it from a lot of angles, saying we can see the positives here, from a financial level, from a stadium level, to the training ground infrastructure, influx of potential funds that might be coming, and the fact that we've got some great young players out on loan that should be coming back, the under-23s that have come in as well. The fact that Kievil, when you take that Juve result out of it, would have actually had a half-decent start. I mean, I, as president of Pessimism FC, Doom and Gloom, will be the first to call it out. But if I can sit here calmly and go, there's a lot of positives that are coming to Inter soon, everybody else can as well, trust me.
Yeah, look at that, coming straight from president of Pessimism FC. Come on, guys. Sort yourselves out. It's not all doom and gloom. Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. But yeah, thank you for coming through, Anthony. And check out Zona Calcio in about half an hour on Inter Worldwide. As always from me, ciao ragazzi. Always, Forza Inter.
Ciao.